In 1854, one of the many inventors of the telegraph said that it has the ability to whisper to the four corners of the earth the lordly behests, a person's orders or commands of lordly man. The same year, Henry David Thoreau published his book Walden, where he viewed electronic media rather sarcastically. He said, "We are eager to tunnel under the Atlantic and bring the old world some weeks nearer to the new, but perchance the first news that will leak through into the broad flapping American ear will be that Princess Adelaide has the whooping cough." To Thoreau, the various changes that the society was experiencing was irritating.
Interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. The Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii by air, President Roosevelt has just announced. The attack also was made on all naval and military activities on the principal island of Oahu.
Journalists seeking change and wanting to sell news eagerly supported these news changes. Either intentionally or unintentionally, journalists strive to sell their work to the public and spread the word about the importance of voting and the after effects of recent crimes. They make the public think that yesterday's voting and crime have marked a line in history, and that today's society is moving on to a new era. Persuasions that the society is successfully advancing or catastrophically collapsing are good attraction methods to lure the public into reading or watching the news.
There is nothing more attractive than the notion of the present. It is different from the past and the future as we live and experience the moment. Many aspects that make the present interesting and surprising contribute significantly to the illusions that journalists produce. With the invention of new technologies such as the telegraph, television, and computer, how news is produced and exchanged was directly affected.
To New York.
Good afternoon from the World Trade Center.
Stand by. Ready, 3, take 3, mic here. 3, start to slow zoom in a little bit. Roll tape. Take 3. Ready, 13, full. Ready, camera 3, 1 center up.
Good evening, I'm David Walker.
And I'm Lois Hart. Now here's the news.
The news could now reach people on the other side of the globe within minutes. This power of news and media astonished many people. With the advent of CNN and the 24-hour news cycle, news began to increase in content. But how exactly did the 24-hour news cycle progress or regress the essence of news broadcasts?
In front of me that we've raised 3 flags. One, the state of Georgia, where we're located. Second, the United States flag, of course, which represents our country and the way we intend to serve it with the cable news network. And over on the other side, we have the flag of the United Nations, because we hope that the cable news network, with its international coverage and greater depth coverage, will bring, both in the country and in the world, a better understanding of how people from different nations live and work together.
15,000 demonstrators gathered to show their support for wartime fugitive Radovan Karadzic. But these are the real pictures of what happened.
It is often difficult to locate worthwhile or meaningful news. We watch reporters broadcast someone being lost, another robbed, and another killed every day. The explicit contents have permeated so much into our daily lives that these breaking news stories no longer seem breaking. Oftentimes they are no more than simple gossips, and no one longs for true news.
Realize now, in just stepping foot in that state, people are going to presume things.
Well, they can presume whatever they want. I have no intention of running for president, but...
To create a positive force in a world where cynics abound.
Thoreau criticized the news for being repetitive, short-lived, and frivolous. The radio wave and cables allowed the news to travel anywhere immediately, but to philosophers like Thoreau, the technology could not change news into anything memorable. This is not to say that worldwide broadcasting did not affect the essence of broadcasting in any way. No matter how repetitive, temporal, or frivolous the news may have been, the information has continuously affected people's political and social actions.
We intend to cover all the news all the time. And since we're going to be on for such a long period, continuously, we sign on June 1, and barring satellite problems in the future, we won't be signing off until the world ends.
70 years after the first televised news broadcast, it is still entertainment for the people. Televised news creates news in the process of coverage. As television displayed protests in big cities and the first landing on the moon, our interest towards this cool-like television further increased. We have experienced famines, earthquakes, and wars through live broadcasts. We have continuously and repetitively been exposed to footage such as a spaceship exploding at launch, the bombing during the Gulf War, U.S. tanks rolling into Baghdad, and the funeral of a princess. We are also attracted by how television sometimes handles news in a disrespectful way. We are spellbound when we look at sports broadcasters making jokes, frivolous weathercasters, celebrities constantly appearing on screen, gun shootings, stabbings, car crashes, and a reporter handing over the microphone to a crying mother and asking how it feels to have
Share
lost
with us
everything.
how you were rescued.
Some guys had called our phone and asked us where we were.
In the end, we must ask ourselves, what has news become? Have we always craved for news to exist in this way, or has an external force led to its current state? Cable news exists in perpetual capitalist competition. A network must present its news as better than the others, and so biases are leaned into and speculation is used to create entertainment. In understanding who creates the news and who is meant to watch it, we can better understand where news fits in our modern society.
This is CNN.